Welcome back, Funela.
Thanks,
Uh,
Ash.
Looking forward to this very important discussion about scanning, safety, and strategy.
Yeah,
And it links into our with our last discussion on core values,
yeah,
organizational
yeah,
values, and when there is a jarring
yeah,
in in between our own personal highest values and the organizational values,
yeah,
it can create a sense of dis-ease. It can create a sense of moral injury at times. It can cause
yeah,
moral injury.
yeah,
It can affect our psychological safety. And sometimes we are in the environment.
yeah,
Might be in an environment like a fish in a tank, might not be able to see and perceive these external threats coming.
yeah.
That's why the illustrations we have used in this particular chapter, you can see that there's a boat, and on the boat there are three,
Mm-hmm.
four creatures, which is
Yeah,
kind of symbolic of a team. And
yeah,
then there is a crocodile around, which is the threats which are developing in the environment. And it could
yeah,
be a different threat. It could be an unhappy client. It could be market forces which are changing.
for sure.
It could be a difficult colleague.
Yeah,
It could be a challenging management.
yeah,
It could be earlier factors we discussed in the last section
yeah,
about a culture of bullying, intimidation.
yeah,
So, how do we stay aware
yeah,
of our own values,
yeah,
of our own physiology?
yeah. It's getting back to that lighthouse, isn't it?
Yes.
That thing that's going to guide us. And I think this is really important when we're scanning for safety and strategy. You need to keep returning to your own values. How do you feel with that? How is that sitting with you? Do you feel okay? Do you feel that the things you've been asked to do are things that you're comfortable with?
Mhm.
Is it an environment where you're able to relate to people in a way that feels okay to you? Or, is there so much pressure that you find communication is compromised? You don't have time to speak to people in a way that you think is respectful. Now, we should obviously always be trying to speak to people in a respectful way. But, maybe there's time pressures. I can imagine in the NHS environment, perhaps there's just so much pressure trying to help people, trying
Mhm.
to deal with all sorts of things. Are you still able to get those moments with colleagues where you can just slow down a little and
Mhm.
communicate in an effective way that brings value?
Yes, Furel, I mean, the most important thing I feel is important to understand is that we function as a team.
Yeah,
That's why in the boat you can see there are three, four different creatures.
yeah,
And if you are working as a team and I see any kind of a threat,
yeah,
we try to collectively deal with as a team.
yeah.
We try to leverage into the strengths of each other and
Amazing.
see how we can position ourselves
Yeah,
to be able to deal with a situation
yeah,
or an encounter which
yeah,
is kind of uh, it can be unsettling.
yeah,
So first thing is to connect with our own emotions,
yeah,
and then to define a problem,
yeah.
and then come with strategies to be able to deal with a particular problem.
Okay.
Because what happens many times, there is that lack of awareness that you will not be able to call a spade a spade.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
once you have defined that this is the particular situation we are dealing with, like for my example, without going into the details, like if
Yeah.
I have a complex patient
Yeah.
or a complex situation to solve,
Yeah.
we will try to break it down that this is the situation, these are the challenges,
Yeah.
and who are the people we can ask for help in our teams or our specialist teams,
Yeah.
and then collectively together able to manage that problem
Yeah.
rather than taking it on your own, personally on yourself. Of course, there would be situation where people might be on their own,
Yeah.
and then kind of they can reach out to different people. Like for example, somebody is a lone worker,
Mm.
but I'm sure that they are able to reach out to somebody or a coach or
Yeah.
a colleague with whom they can discuss that these are the things that these are challenges they are facing.
I think that's really important. If there isn't anyone in your immediate environment, reach out. I'm self-employed, and that carries a lot of advantages. It's a choice a lot of people make.
Yeah.
But I have a professional organization that gives me support. I have a supervisor who gives me support. I wouldn't discuss professional matters with friends and family, but obviously, if I've had a hard day, they'll understand that, and I can ask them for support without having to explain why.
Mm, yes.
Everybody has hard days at work. Um, yeah, yeah, absolutely. Just try and find those people. If you don't have an immediate team, try and create a team of some sort. It might be a team that's at a slight distance. They might not be in the room with you all of the time, but you need to feel there's somebody at your back. There's some support.
So somebody with whom you can brainstorm when you are stuck or you're feeling some kind of a
Yes.
uncomfort
Yes.
dealing with any, maybe a client might be difficult, maybe a
Yeah.
situation might be difficult.
Yeah.
And when you find yourself in that situation, maybe you might have a client which does not respect boundaries so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
I'm sure you come across such kind of people.
Yeah.
And when that thing happens, then it is good to see
Yeah.
how one is protecting their own selves. I mean, my situations, we are having a great time, and suddenly we see a colleague which is there who's more dysfunctional, not respecting the boundaries.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah. How do you pull that back
how do you
in
pull
a
that back
respectful
in a
way
respectful and a courteous way?
and a supportive way,
Yeah,
which is important?
but also with appropriate assertiveness
Yeah.
and protecting your own boundaries.
Yeah. Yeah. And obviously, also, we're always trying to model good behaviors. If we can look at our own boundaries and how we keep them in place, that's a good contribution to make to our work culture. If
Mhm.
we're very clear from the outset about what the boundaries are, how we work together, um, yeah, what the supporting rules are for these engagements and interactions. But if you're working in an organization where communication is, beyond perhaps the one-to-one or a small group, that's going to get complex, isn't it? And
Yes.
sometimes something might change for a reason you don't understand,
Yes.
but in your scanning,
In your
you will
scanning.
see that something's changed. You might not immediately need to know why that's changed, although it could be helpful down the line,
Mhm.
but you just get the sense something has changed. And that's where you start to think about, how can I adjust for this? How can I do that environmental adaptation?
Environmental adaptation.
And maybe what you come to is you have to try and create some change or approach someone,
Mhm.
that's in the wheelhouse of environmental adaptation as well.
Yes.
Do you need to be that voice that names it, as you say, that names something? Do you need to go and talk to your colleagues and ask, are you feeling this too? Is
I
anyone else
completely agree with that.
experiencing this?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
ask your colleagues whether they are feeling it. So,
Yeah.
and I recollect an incident, Fionnuala, that we had a great working environment, and suddenly a new colleague came
Yeah.
who was not respectful of anybody's boundaries,
Yeah.
and we could see that how the entire environment on the other colleagues were getting stressed out.
Yeah.
So whilst I agree with you that one has to be courteous and polite,
Yeah.
one also has to be kind of astutely aware.
Oh, yes.
And one, when such things happen, you got to call them out,
Yeah.
and we got to deal with them head on.
Yeah.
Because you might have heard that the path to hell is paved with good intentions.
Yeah.
We have to have good intentions, but if something is not right in the environment, we got to deal with it head on
Yeah.
and challenge it.
Yeah.
And
For sure.
it will be ruffling some feathers.
Yeah.
Well, it might mean ruffling some feathers, but if you don't do it,
Yeah.
it's going to erode the environment anyways. So psychological safety is really
Yeah.
important, and
Yeah.
to manage
Yeah.
it on a day-to-day basis, I
Yeah.
would say hour-to-hour basis, see what's happening in the environment
Yeah.
is really important.
Yeah. Yeah. Without psychological safety, we can't be ourselves. We can't speak up. We can't be true to our values. We can't bring our best, and we can't respond when things are at their worst in a way that helps and supports us or the people around us.
So would you think it will be reasonable to say that it is difficult to have authentic leadership without protecting our psychological safety?
Absolutely. Yeah. Psychological safety is key. Yeah.
And that's why it's very important to make the right decision, that we are in a good environment and we continue to
Yeah.
stay in an environment which is serving our values,
Yeah.
And if any shift is happening, we are aware of those shifts and how we are going to deal with that kind of shifts with a strategy.
Yeah.
And sometimes if we think that we are not well equipped with that strategy, it's quite reasonable to find an external coaching support or a mentor,
Yes.
and as always, to get that external perspective.
Well, absolutely. Can you bring trainers in at work? If a problem is communication, if perhaps people feel that they're being spoken to in a way that's not appropriate, you need to bring somebody in. You need to look at that, especially if it's becoming a trend.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Because sometimes things might be at the level of an individual, but also sometimes we can have trends. We could have a situation where everybody in the group or most people in the group feel affected by something. But whatever, whether the issues at the level of an individual or the level of the group, both need action, both are important, and you need to preserve that psychological safety.
Yes. Well, Fionnuala, thank you so much for those incredible insights.
Yeah.
And I will look forward to our next discussion on purpose.
Yeah.
And how that purpose is that big ray of light,
Yeah.
which is continuously zoning us into our highest values together,
Yeah.
and deal with all challenges. So thank you so much.
Thank you,
And I will
Ash.
look forward to our next discussion.
Fantastic. Thank you.
If you enjoyed today's episode, we'd greatly appreciate it if you could leave a 5-star review, a like, or subscribe on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Your support helps us reach more people looking to transform their stress into new comfort. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so don't forget to comment and share. For more tips and updates, please be sure to check out our social media links in the description box below. We can't wait to have you with us next time as we continue this journey towards turning stress into resilience. Remember, it's not the stress itself, but how we rise above it that defines our strength. So stay resilient and keep thriving, and we will see you next time.